What is up, guys? This is a little update up at the Baldwin yard that we have. This yard's only got 3 hives on it for this season. They've been up here for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. So today I'm going to try to extract some honey out of them. These are frames that I brought from the house, from our main yard, that have already been decapped, spun in the extractor, and are ready to be refilled. This is an older frame, so probably next run I will cut all that wax out. You can see the color difference here in ages of wax. So anyway, so stay tuned and I will catch back up when I'm over in the hives. Just like that, we are back in the beehives. So these are our 3 hives up at our Baldwin property. They started out as the single white boxes, as you can see, the single 10 frame deeps. They started with all queen excluders. I wanted to run a little test to see which ones would build faster or slower. So this one has a queen excluder, so both blue boxes will be only honey. This one, the middle one, has a opening in it that is normally an airflow vent, but it doesn't have a mesh in it, so the bees can come and go through there. So I want to see if that produces more honey. The next one has a mesh hole for ventilation, and then the bees can run through the whole hive. So we'll see how far the queens of all 3 have laid up. Obviously the left one will be only in the 1 box. That's classified as a single deep brood box method. So yeah, let's dig into it. So I already have my smoker running. Your key with your smoker is, if you're not getting enough smoke out of your smoker, it's either not hot enough smoke, or the normal thing is you don't have enough green in there. So you really need like either some clippings or something that's green to really get the smoke out. It's kind of like when you're building a fire in your backyard and it's real smoky from leaves and you can't figure out how to make it not smoke so bad, and it's the greener leaves compared to the darker leaves. So anyway, let me just fix my shirt here. Don't want any visitors in my suit. That would be a not fun day in the bee yard. So far they've been pretty gentle with the property owner. He cuts his grass to like right here. No suit, no anything. So we're just going to give them all a little something just to make sure they stay with that demeanor. Oh, we got a nice spider's web there. Really need to get behind and trim all these hives. Get a little smoke in there. All right, so this hive will be the one with the queen excluder in it. They have no entrance reducers and never have. So let's see what they're about. Oh, I hear a lot of bees in it. Quite a bit, so we'll see. Not as many as I thought would be up top, but this is the most recent box that I have. I'll give them a little more smoke. They sound kind of irritated with me. So they have not drawn into this spot, or have they? Wait a minute. Wow, that's some beautiful looking comb. They haven't drawn anything in here. I would presume that they took the honey out and moved it further down. They did start on this as well. So I don't know, that could be new draw. You can see how it's kind of started. The yellow that's in there is the wax. It's kind of started. The other ones haven't really started, so we'll see what they have down below. When I checked last time, this box below them had, I want to say 4 or 5 full frames. Yeah, you can see some bees there. You can also see where I got to cut this back. So we're just gonna get them off the top bars a little. Huh, something's missing a staple there. And has been. I'll have to check that one out. So I don't really want to get too invasive if it's not ready. But I just need to get in here to see what we got. So I always like to pull that outermost frame here. Nothing on this one. This was a new one that I put in. You can see the white foundation. That's a newer one. I'm just gonna lay that there so that they can walk back in their hive. Nothing on that one. Excuse me. They capped the middle some. Okay, so not a lot. So maybe they had a very short flow there and it didn't do a whole lot for them. I really thought because of all the soybean in the area that these hives would be really on the honey big time. Some capped, some not. Kind of really weird patterns, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen it with random open holes like that. So I'm curious as to what that's about. This could have been like a brood frame or something that they were late emerging. Let's dig a couple more. It looks like we will not be able to pull anything off of these frames today, off of this hive, and maybe none of the hives. So maybe this may just be a like check-in video. Yeah, so they've capped some. They haven't filled in a lot of this. I'm inclined to just leave this with the hive itself. The bottom box is probably full. Very interesting. So out of the three, this was the furthest along hive that I had. Excuse me, bud. Well, missed technically. Man, that thing is stuck to the bottom. Wow. Nothing like a way to keep bees calm by bumping them around a lot. So they'll probably cap this one all the way, or they will cap this one all the way. I go with the open holes. That's kind of weird. So we'll give this another week or two. I'll give you a video update about it. I want to get that off the bottom though. So this is what they call burr comb. This like extra here is all burr comb technically. Excuse me. So I'm just going to try and brush a couple bees off of it. Because I don't really want to squish my bees. I work very hard for them. Come on, move. Walk the other way. Sit that there. So that's all burr comb. They'll either build it back or they won't. But it saves us from squishing bees when we put it back in the hive. So I'm gonna deem this hive not ready to pull anything, and it may not this season. So we'll see. But I'm just gonna gently slide things in, and you'll notice as I push frames in, you wiggle them up and down like this as you go along, up and down. And when you do that, the bees will kind of wiggle out of each other's way. So it kind of works out in the long run. Let's see, I'm gonna make a little more space here. I said I didn't look for eggs in this hive because of it being having a queen excluder on it. This is just a burr comb here. See, it's just wax that'll ball up. I'll melt that down into a nice beeswax candle, or at least part of one. All right, so first hive down, not great results. This was the furthest ahead. We got a little like spider or moth or something, so that'll get off my hive. You always want to do these little like maintenance things, checking. You never want things just kind of using your hives, living in it. Other than your honeybees. All right. I get my shirt all situated again. Just bite me. I use cinder blocks. I mean, bricks. Some people use the like ratchet straps or something. It's all personal preference. I don't like ratchet straps because it'll make all your hives like lean together. Anyway, let me keep this moving here. Give them a little smoke. Maybe I'm gonna smoke a little hotter. Crack that. Less bees in the top box than the last one. The top boxes were kind of a recent thing, so I won't really be too terribly upset if they don't even touch them. It was really, I thought they were on a heavy flow out of nowhere, and I wanted to see how far we can push that. It looks like they're all about the same pace. If they are, I'll take that one apart and I'll try and locate the queen if I don't come across one first. So yeah, they've started to put a little wax on here. Nothing too abnormal though. I'm just gonna set this here because this doesn't have a queen excluder, so any of these could technically have the queen on them. They're all looking up at me. None of that's filled. It's an okay weight frame, but again, tons of burr comb. That's got honey in it. Throughout this whole thing. So give them about 2 weeks. That'll solid up quite a bit. Is that a medium frame in a deep box? No, it's just a big deep box. That's why they draw burr comb, is if you pass the 3/4 inch of bee space, they automatically will start like trying to use it for different things. All right. Let's try to get the bees off of it. You don't have to remove this. This isn't like, you know, oh, if you don't remove this, they're gonna, you know, swarm on you because of whatever, or they're gonna get infected by something. This is just a maintenance thing. Like I said, they sometimes will draw it back. They'll be stuck in that one. There he is. I'll come down here. Of course, one gets on it just as there you go. He flew. I'm gonna have to relight my smoker. And none of that's capped. I mean, I'm not gonna continue too far in this hive because I knew the other hive was further along. Oh. I know that's out of place from where I put it, but that's okay. It's the crawlers that get me. See them on my feet and all. They'll get me. Somehow they know I got short socks on. Somehow. Anyway. All right, that's my ball of wax. I give them their box back. These hives started as 5-frame nukes this year in the 2020 season. So from where they've gotten to, I'm pretty pleased. I can't really complain too much. Next year, they'll be extremely successful for this landowner and myself. So before I get into that one, let me walk over and get the smoker relit through the power of television. And we're back. Look at that. It's probably the fastest I've ever lit that smoker. All right, hive number 3 on the Baldwin property. Give them a little smoke here now that the smoke is running right, and I'm gonna try and smoke the bees and not the beekeeper, but it seems to always go the other way. I don't know why. Huh, the box is kind of open a little already. To make sure I get that little one right. Again, about the same. Nothing super special. I'm gonna give them just a little. It seems that this is gonna be the smallest hive that is up on this property out of these 3. All right, give me a little smoke here. They're all around the edges, and I don't know what that's all about. All right, so I have, within this first frame that I pulled of the honey box, it is bone dry, but I have eggs and larvae all through this hive. I mean, through this frame, sorry, through the entire frame. I've never seen, no, I have seen, but this is one of those extremely well laid frames. And I broke my rule of always grabbing the outside frame first, or trying to, especially when you're in queen territory. So you can see all the open spots are recently emerged. This is actually a great thing to show you. Hold on, let me set this back in here. Trying to not squish any bees. Excuse me. There it is. So, they're getting off on the tree. So these are fuzzy bees. I'm not sure if you can pick that up. You can see a little peach fuzz on his back compared to a normal bee that's around him. They spend their first day or two cleaning their cell out and all. So this is an extreme newborn. This bee right there. That's a drone, that's the male. This is a female here. The hives are like 90% female. Drones are, their only purpose is to eat and mate. They mate once and die with the queen. The queen, each queen does like 1 or 2 mating flights. When they're first hatched, there's another fuzzy bee, a couple of them. When they're first hatched, they go out and mate with a whole bunch, probably, I think I've heard anywhere from 10 to like 30 drone bees, which are these here. These look like bigger pimples, we'll say, but these are actually larger drone cells. So the males actually are in the bigger circles, bigger comb, and those smaller ones are the normal worker cells. So let me see here, see if she's laid. I have some eggs in here. You probably won't be able to see it in this lighting. So this queen is definitely doing well. You can see that there's one that's starting to emerge right there, starting to eat his way through his cell. Right there in the middle of the frame. So that's kind of neat. But as for this colony, it's doing very well. It's a little low on resources, so we'll have to do some supplemental stuff throughout the season, through the fall season, that is, coming into our winter season. They will definitely need some help to keep this queen up and thriving. So for this one, I'm actually going to grab the bottom box off of this to take a peek at it. So while I got the smoker on, I'm just going to hit everything a little. Set that there. Because it's not a heavy box. I mean, I can tell you right now that that's almost empty. So the queen could be in this box here. So you never really want to lay them flat. You always want to sit boxes on their long side. So if you were to sit the box on this side on the ground, this side on the ground, all the frames would all fall to this side and you'd squish a ton of bees. You would crack a bunch of cells open. You would really mess the hives up. So anyway, this is our deep brood box system. Like I said, I don't have a queen excluder on this, so this can't be called the single brood box method, though that's what I strive to do. That's what I think works best for me in my situation. Just based on low amounts of resources, and I do splits pretty often. Man, just messed my frame up, don't do that. And yeah, so we are going to see what they've done here. So it looks like this hive may have swarmed. There's definitely a cell. They definitely didn't draw everything out, but there's a ton of bees down here. And they cut my string. My fishing twine that I swear by, it's right here. They cut both of them. So I'll have to see what the deal is with that. I said, like I said in my previous video, I think it was my main yard video, I'm going to step to the next one. So, ever want your bees to move out of the way, you just give them a little blow. You can see a queen cup there. So that looks like a swarm cell because it's facing downwards. It could be a supersedure. I'm going to peek at one more frame. If it is a supersedure, I know this is a this year queen. So I'm actually going to remove it if that's the case. Yeah, so I'm going to just lean this against here very gently. And we're gonna dig a little deeper into this box to try and figure out what's going on with it. So for those of you who are wondering, I have not done mite checks on these hives yet, so that could be a contributing factor for why they're not booming, though I don't believe so, because they, like I said, started a few months ago as 5-frame nukes with a 0 mite count. Wow, she's laid a lot. She's also put a bunch of drones in here, so she could be looking to swarm. So they'll make a lot of males when they know they're getting ready to swarm. So I'm looking all over for you. You can see, I'll give it a little blow here to get them walk. You can see all of that is just worker bee larvae. And all of this is drone larvae here. So this is one of the downfalls of using foundationless comb, is that they will tend to make too many drone cells, which will then make too many mouths to feed that are just eating and not helping. And that can hurt your hives. So we'll have to check that out. I don't think there's that much I can do about that per se, without switching back to a foundation hive, or Down the Fat Bee Man does a small cell wax like foundation he makes, and that seems to work pretty well. So I'm gonna try and stop bending down as much so that you guys get proper angles. I have a bad habit of that. So you can see all of the cells in here. I've not located our queen yet. I'm not sure I'm going to in this big of a hive, but I'm at least looking while we're going through it. Just blow them out of the way to give you guys a view. All of these are worker bee cell drone cups. No, what am I saying? They are normal worker bee cells. There are drones all over this, which is why I keep saying drones. I mean, all over this hive. She should be marked, so I would be able to spot her pretty easily. You can see the beautiful laying pattern here. These are ones that have emerged and have been relayed in and stuff. So they're doing pretty well. I don't like the spottiness of these hives, so I'm gonna get up here and do a mite check on them and just see what's going on. So I'm gonna try and maintain my orientation here. I'm gonna check one more frame, and then I'm gonna deem it that they are not trying to swarm and that they just built a cup to build a cup, which they do sometimes. And then I'm gonna get rid of this one right here. So that being said, this is our lucky frame. I mean, these hives will be producing a lot of bees. You can see all of the worker bees there that have yet to emerge. This is the third deep frame that I pulled out. So there's probably, I forget what the numbers are. I think there's like 1,000 and some possibilities per side of each deep frame. And you can see that both sides are either fully full today or have been laid in recently and have hatched. So yeah, this hive is going to be booming very soon, just in time for winter. So I need to get up and do our mite checks to make sure that they are in good standings. Since they're not, I'm not going to be pulling any honey from them this season, it doesn't look like. I'm going to keep checking back on them and see. As for this cup, because I don't want extra problems, I'm going to cut that off. And I'll show you up close what that is. Normally I would shake these bees, but it is the main portion of the hive, our brood box. So I really don't want to disturb much more than I have to here. So that's what a queen cup looks like. This is a very new one. So this is just the base. They'll lay in there. She could have went to swarm and not or something. So we'll just knock this open to show you. So as you can see, there's nothing. I'll try and get you a light. There's no egg or anything in there. You would see a white, like a grain of rice, like I've shown you in my other videos at the main yard. You would see some sort of egg in there. So this is just like a just in case cup. And I really like the queens that are in here. I don't want them to swarm. They're ones that I've made in my batches of queens this first year, and I'm extremely pleased with them. So I really don't want them to fly if they have to. Oh, the blackberries got me. As long as it doesn't put a hole in my suit, I'm okay. All right, so that being said, I'm gonna wrap up shop, and that's gonna be it for today. So thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. This is the 3rd yard that I'll have updates on, so be sure to check that out. I'll do some varroa mite stuff here soon. I'm doing some research into what method I want to use for treating my varroa mites. So I'm going to do some tests to show you all how to check if you have varroa mites, if you have honeybees, and what I'm going to do to get rid of them. I'm looking into using a mineral oil vapor compared to oxalic acid because they're very expensive. I'm on a budget this year. I'm looking at the pros and cons. Statistically, it kills off like 90% of the mites, and in other cases, there's some people who will disagree and say that oxalic acid is the only way to do those kind of numbers. So basically, I have enough hives now that we're going to do the test, and I'm going to show you the hard data, and we'll see what really comes of it. So be sure to subscribe, like the page, like the videos, so that the videos get worked into YouTube's algorithm so we can get more traction. I will be doing some reviews here soon of some woodenware from a honeybee company out of Illinois. I think they do wonderful, wonderful products, and I'm actually extremely excited to show you all what they have. So be sure to stick around for that. Oh, I grabbed the wrong box. And yeah, stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.